Bruce, you must have something really good too.
Of course I do. It's Bruce Danielson, and I guess I'm here to entertain you too.
Scott Erisman, Sioux Falls. It surprises me that this was dismissed because if you read the findings of fact, which are very well written, he violated the ordinance. So it's kind of like, yeah, he violated the ordinance, but we're just going to dismiss it anyway because it's vague. Doesn't matter if it's vague. It's on the books. It's on the books. It's the ordinance that's standing right now. Don't care if it's going to be changed in a couple of months or 2 months from now. Let's read the ordinance. City Ordinance 35.053E provides that a city council member shall not directly or indirectly solicit any gift or accept any gift, whether in the form of money, services, loan, travel, entertainment, hospitality, thing, or promise, or in any form under circumstances in which it was reasonably inferred that the gift was intended to influence or could reasonably be expected to influence the officer in the performance of their official duties or was intended as a reward of official action. It says right here in the findings of facts, Neitzert's trip was paid for by the community leaders of America. It says right here in the ordinance, can't do that. It says right here, the conference participants were limited to mayors and council members who are registered Republicans. Partisan event. Can't do that. Partisan event means he was influenced by partisan ideals. Don't care if there was a Republican, Democrat, whatever. Violation of the ordinance. Several other things in here that I worry about. We don't need to go down that route. The only thing we have in here that you guys base your dismissal on is that Greg says he wasn't influenced. His word. We weren't at the conference. We don't know what he learned. We don't know if he's come back here and used any of those policies and what he learned. He's never told us what he's learned, ever. He's never told the public, he's never told the city council. He's never done an oral or written report to anybody as to what he learned. So how do we know if he's used what he learned to make policy decisions at a partisan event? In your canons, this is a nonpartisan government. And even if he didn't use what he learned to make any policy, it's the inference or the appearance of going to the event. That is clear in the ordinance. It says it right there. It's a gift. He accepted a gift. I'm just baffled as how you could dismiss that. Now, if you don't want to reprimand him or give him any punishment, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Because there needs to be some clarity here. But as it's written today, and by reading the findings of fact and what they said, he violated the ordinance. Plain and simple. What was his defense? Political collusion. Well, that never took place because it says right here. When he sent the email, he said that, it says it in here when he sent the email, that no counselor complained or filed a complaint or asked questions. Where was the collusion? Never presented any evidence of collusion. It's real simple if you read the ordinance. He took money from a partisan group, went on a trip. According to this ordinance, you're not supposed to do that. What would be the clear thing to do? Not dismiss it. You broke the ordinance. Move on. Somebody asked me, they said, well, how could they dismiss this if he did the things that the ordinance says you're not supposed to? I said, I don't know. You'd have to ask them. They've never given us an explanation as why they thought they should dismiss it. There's been a lot of jokes made, his buddies, his friends. I have my assumptions as to why it was dismissed, but we've never gotten an explanation from the council. It's just we're going to do it, and that's just the way it's going to be. It's a sad chapter in the Home Rule Charter in the city of Sioux Falls. Sad, sad, sad.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Robert Colby. Chutzpah. That's an interesting word. Yiddish, German. Chutzpah, how to define it. I remember that from many years ago. Someone said, well, it's like the guy that's up before the judge for sentencing because he killed both his parents, and he begs the judge to show him mercy because now he's an orphan. Chutzpah.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Bruce Danielson. The process we just went through talks about once probable cause is found, the board can do an investigation. Right? Where's the investigation? We've never seen an investigative report. The Board of Ethics took the parties' materials at face value. We heard about testimony taken during closed-door sessions, but then didn't show any information in the 170 pages. Findings of fact? Give us a break. The attorney teams didn't do their jobs. The defense team decided to allow the client to give one of his famous 12-page diatribes of nothing. He said nothing in all of what he said except, oh well. We heard the classic Sergeant Schultz, I see nothing, I know nothing. It was as if they were afraid to actually admitting there was probable cause even though the board found it. I believe the board found probable cause. Just as Scott was saying, it was there. The defense team did not present a case. We heard about the world picking on the council member and how much this was going to cost him. You get the idea. We cried crocodile tears for him. We citizens were taken advantage of by this sham process. Most of you council members did not do the jobs you were elected to do, accepting the premise the system was wrong, not the 25-year charter. Shame on all of you. This definitely was not a trial. There was no evidentiary rules or procedures that could stand up in any courtroom. It was said this was a quasi-judicial hearing, and then you did not conduct yourself to the standard. The Board of Ethics claimed there was ambiguity in the travel policy. It was so simple and clear, a second grader should understand it. There was a clear travel policy requiring permission beforehand, not during, not after. There was a clear policy precedent to seek approval if you as a member uses your position to attend a meeting. Blaming poor reading and comprehension skills is not an excuse. Each one of you took an oath agreeing this is a nonpartisan office each of you hold. Now you are using party machine politic tactics to overthrow our 25-year-old government. Attempting to help raise $117,000 for a seat on this dais is one thing several of you have implemented, laying the groundwork so you can violate your own oaths, and we now have to say, oh, it's okay. I remember a little building on our farm with far better reading material, like the Sears catalog to read and use. There was 170 pages of printed material with little having to do with this case. And that's what was presented to this hearing. Too bad we don't have that little building anymore to use the report and the supposed facts. So you're calling this the material facts that you're having to deal with. I dare you to look at any of that information that was presented by this side over here a couple weeks ago and tell me that there was any facts that was given. There was a man that stood up here and wanted you to cry crocodile tears for his stupidity. He took a trip, he broke his oath, and now you're gonna say it's okay. So now every one of you and those on the phone all now can go to these meetings and you're gonna be able to do your Democratic politics, your Republican politics, or whatever you want. You can go out and raise the hundreds of thousands of dollars that you think that this job is good for so that you can do the favors for those people that give it. I threw a picture up here at the beginning that was up online this week. That picture says it all. You're all going to be out on panhandling, just like you talked about last week at the meeting. You're trying to say it was something wrong with those people standing at the I-29 exits, saying that they can't panhandle. But we have somebody who went out on Facebook the other day and pretended that it was okay to panhandle. And by the way, why was TJ Nelson, the city's deputy chief of staff, at this meeting? Where is that legal? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, I'm Jennifer Neitzert.